Hey everyone, Mr. Montgomery again. Today we're going to be reviewing Unit 5 and just make sure that we refresh our minds on, how do we solve certain things and to make sure we get the correct answer on our quizzes, okay? So let's start off with Set A. Oh, and don't forget we're on page 243 in those robot and turtle books. So let me read it nice and big for you real quick. 243. Make sure you're on this page. If you're not, you got to pause this video, make sure you get your robot turtle book out, make sure you're on the correct page, and then hit play. But for those of you that are already on this page, we're going to keep on going. Alright, and we're going to review set A, which is knowing if a number sentence is true or false. And if you guys remember the video I made a while ago, I like to treat each side of the equal sign separately. We want to make sure that they have the same number on both sides. And I was calling this line like a fence. It's like having a neighbor and they share a fence. So we want to make sure that the neighbors all have the same stuff. So that way they don't get jealous of each other. So if they have all the same stuff, meaning if the numbers are the same on both sides, then it's true. If they're not the same on both sides, then they're false. So first we would add 6 plus 5. And if you're not too sure what 6 plus 5 is, you can use a number line. You know what? Let me make one really quick. Okay, now we have our number line. So what we do is just add both sides. So we'll start with 6 plus 5 first. Let me change up my colors here. And if we don't know what 6 plus 5 is, if you're having trouble with some mental math, you can of course use this number line up here that I made. 6 plus 5, put a dot on 6. And make 5 jumps, because 6 is our start number and 5 is our jump number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We land on 11. So now we know that 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay, now we got to add 3 plus 8. Alright, and if you're not too sure what 3 plus 8 is, again, we use a number line. So 3 is our start number, and then we need 8 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we land on 11 again. So now we know that 6 plus 5 equals 11, and 3 plus 8 equals 11. We have the same on each side. So that means that this is true. Which is awesome. That's what we really, really want. We always want our number sentences to be true. And we get kind of sad if they're false. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do, guys. I want you to try number 1 completely on your own. If you need to, I would recommend using... I'm going to make some lines here. Because they didn't give us much work room. So I would say, you know what? You can make like a weird plus sign. And just rewrite this over here so you have some working space if you need it. That's what I would do, especially if I had a quiz. The more you, or the sooner you guys get into the habit of writing down all your steps, the easier math will be for you. I absolutely promise. You can ask any mathematician, they'll tell you the same stuff. So we need to find out if 8 minus 5 will give us the same answer as 4 plus 1. And of course, if you guys like taking my steps, you can make a little fence down the middle and see if the same number is on both sides. Okay, so go ahead. I'll let you guys try this one. First, solve 8 minus 5, and then 4 plus 1. Alright guys, if you're not done, pause the video and take your time. If you are done, let's check your work to make sure you made the right choice, if it's true or false. So first we need to solve 8 minus 5. Remember, since it says minus, that means we're going to be jumping backwards. That is very, very important. So we start on 8, and we make 5 jumps back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I land on 3. So now we know that 8 minus 5 is 3. And now we need to solve 4 plus 1. So we start on 4. And we make 1 jump forward because we have a plus sign. And we jump. And we land on 5. So, do we have the same number on both sides of our fence? No way. These are two totally different numbers. So sadly, number 1 is false. Alright, I want you guys to try number 2 on your own. Now this one I am not going to give you the answer to, because I don't want you guys just copying down my work. I want to see your work. And I'm sure if you're not in my classroom, your teacher wants to see your work too. Okay? We don't want you just copying down our stuff, because then we don't know if you really know it. So my first step, I'm going to rewrite this over here so we have some workspace. If you need the workspace, I recommend absolutely doing the same thing. 3 plus 1 equals 12 minus 8. Okay, and this step you don't have to do, but I really like drawing a fence down the middle. Now go ahead and give this one a try. Remember, you have to solve each side separately. Okay, if you're still working on that, pause the video, take your time. If you're done, we're going to move down to set B, where it's the same idea, guys, except we have to find the missing number. And what I like to tell friends is this missing number is just going to be your jumps, okay? So we're trying to find our jump number every single time. Unless it's a really weird one like number 4. Number 4 is really, really odd. I really don't like problems like that, and I will explain why in a minute. So, let's see here. Let's do a little walkthrough real quick. So if we have a problem that looks like 4 plus 7 equals 6 plus blank, I'm going to rewrite that over here. You guys do not have to rewrite it. I'm just showing you. 4 plus 7 equals 6 plus blank. Again, I would personally, I would keep the little fence, but you don't have to. So first thing we got to do is find the number, or find the side that has 2 numbers that you can work with. So it's not going to be the 6 plus blank, it's going to be the 4 plus 7. We have 2 numbers here. We need to do something with them. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is 11. And all of this, I have to bring it down. So 11 equals 6 plus blank. And with how this is set up, we have our start number, which is 6, right? If we're going to use the number line, you start by putting a dot on 6. And then we have our ending number, which is 11. So we know that that is where we're going to end. So we just have to find the jumps in between. So 11 equals 6 plus blank. Let's see. We just put a dot on 6 because we know that would be our starting number. And we put a dot on 11 because we know this is where we're going to end up. We just need to know what number is going to get us all the way there. So we just count the jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 jumps got me from 6 all the way to 11. So now I solved it. I know what number needs to go in this space, and it's 5. So 11 equals 6 plus 5, and that is absolutely correct. So let's do, let's see here. I kind of wish they also gave us like a second little example problem. I just want to throw out there, guys, real quick before I let you try number 3 on your own. This is very important that I explain this, I feel. If you get a problem that just says something like, I don't know, let's see, 12 equals 3 plus blank. If you get a problem like this, again, they took out that other step that we might have to do. There's no side of the equal sign that has 2 numbers for us to do something with. So if they don't give us an extra number on one side, we just have to go straight to finding the jump number. We know we are going to end on 12. We know that we're going to start on 3. We just need to find out how many jumps. All right, and I was explaining this for a special reason, because that's what you have to do for number 3, okay? So go ahead and try number 3 on your own, guys. They give you the start number, they give you the ending number. We just need to find the jumps. Go ahead and give number 3 a try. And remember, we want the equation to be true, so we have to make sure we have the right amount of jumps. Okay, guys, if you're still working on number 3, pause the video, but I feel like you guys are probably done by now. All right, so we know we have 11 as our end number, 4 is our start number. So I'm going to use the number line to check it. 4 and 11. And all we are doing is counting the jumps. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Took 7 jumps to go from 4 to 11. And so let me clear that really quick. So we know that this answer is 7. And again, and also, guys, I know they didn't give us much room on this page to do our work, and that really does upset me. I don't like when they do that. So if there's not enough space for you, please get an extra piece of paper so you can write down your work if you need to. As you get older, you're always going to be using an extra piece of paper to show all of your work all the time. All right, and number 4, we're actually going to do together. I personally don't like it when they do things like this, because first off, it's a subtraction problem. They keep giving us a whole bunch of addition, and then they'll randomly throw a subtraction problem in. And not only that, we're missing the beginning number. So for this, we will not be counting the jumps. We already have our jump number, and we have our start number. And you might be thinking, but Mr. Montgomery, that doesn't make sense. But there is a way to solve this, and you're going to think I'm bananas when I tell you. If you think back to when we did fact families, we know that we can use addition to solve a subtraction problem. And that's exactly what we need to do for a special situation like this. So if you're ever missing the big number for any subtraction problem, but you have the 2 smaller numbers, all we have to do is add. I know it sounds crazy, right? You think I'm crazy. But I promise you will get the correct answer. So we need to switch this into a addition problem. So it's going to be 4 plus 5. And we know this has to work because they are related facts. They're part of the same fact family. So I'm going to give you guys a moment and go ahead and solve 4 plus 5 and let me know what you get. All right, let's check what you got for 4 plus 5. This is pretty straightforward, pretty easy, right? So you start on 4 up here, make 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I land on 9. There's a reason I didn't write anything down on this number line, because I want to show you with subtraction that we did get the correct answer. So if I start on 9, and I'm going to take away 4, right? Because they're saying minus 4. I promise you we will get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did land on 5. So if you're ever missing that big number for any subtraction problem, just add those 2 small parts that you have. It will give you the correct answer. I promise, every time. It's math. That's the cool thing about math. It never changes. Once you know all these little tricks, math becomes super duper easy. All right? So I feel like we've gone over every single type of problem. What I would like you to do, on your own, completely on your own, I'm not going to tell you guys the answers on these, but your teacher will. And I will check it if you're in my classroom. I will be one to see your work. I want you to try number 5, 6, and 7 completely on your own. Just remember, you solve the side with 2 numbers first, and then find out the jumps between this small number and that big number. Again, the side with 2 numbers is solved first, and then find out the jumps between the 2 numbers you have left. That's all we're doing. That's the only 2 steps you need. All right, so I'm sure that a lot of people are still working on these. I'm going to ask you to pause the video here because it will take you some time. So take your time with those with 5, 6, and 7. And then when you're all set, hit play, and then we'll continue to set C. Okay, we're going on to set C, guys. Right here. I made a whole number line up top. And this is when we learned to add 3 numbers together. You guys remember that? It wasn't that long ago. We were adding 3 numbers together and finding the grand total. And the cool thing about adding 3 numbers is that you can do it in any order you want. Now, my personal preference, the way I like to do this, is just to always go from left to right. Like when we read a story, you always go from the left to the right when you read. I do the same thing when I add my numbers together. So I would actually prefer this top way of doing it that says 2 plus 8. So I like to add little arrows. You guys know this. 2 plus 8. And you start 2, make 8 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I land on 10. So that turns into a 10. But we still have to add the 2. So I always bring the 2 down so I don't forget about it. And now I just have 10 plus 2. So I start at 10, make 2 more. 1, 2. And I get 12. Now, one way you could do this, if you have a number line, you can just keep on jumping after you start from your first number. So I could start at 2, and then just make 8 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll just leave all my drawing there, and then You could make little check marks if you want to know that you used them. And I just look at the last number I have to add. I need 2 more. So right where I left off, I just add 2 more jumps. 1, 2. And I still land on 12. That's it. That's all there is to it. And you can, of course, do this in any order. Like right below, they show you a different way that you can add them. They're saying you could add the 2 and the 2 together first. Well, sure we could. Take that 2, add 2 more jumps. 1, 2. But I used that 2 and I used that 2. I just have an 8 left. So I just make 8 more jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I still get 12 every time. No matter how you decide to add them, you will get the same answer. Just use the way that works best for you. If going from left to right, like we did up here, works easier, or just seems easier, it feels more comfortable, then keep doing it. If adding all the small numbers up first is more comfortable, then do that. But like I say every video, guys, I feel like a broken record. Use what works for you. Not everyone likes to use the same methods, and that's fine. So let's do, let's see. Go ahead, try number 8 on your own. We have 5 plus 5 plus 4. What is that total? 5 plus 5 plus 4. Go ahead, give it a shot. Alright, if you're still working on number 8, pause the video. Take your time. Give it the best try that you can. If you end up not getting it correct, that's okay. We're going over it together to make sure that you understand what we're doing. But if you're all done, let's check your work here. So 5 plus 5, I'm going to use the number line for this. Start on 5 and make 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I added the 5 and the 5. I just need to add that 4. So I make 4 more jumps. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I land on 14. So now I know that the answer for this is 14. 5 plus 5 plus 4 will give us 14. Let's do one more together. I want you to try number 9 on your own, which is 9 plus 5 plus 1. Go ahead and try number 9 on your own. Alright, if you're not done number 9, pause the video and take your time. Then when you're all set, hit play. For my other friends that are all done, let's check your work now. So 9 plus 5, I start at 9. And I'll make 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I used 9, I used 5. I just need to add one more jump because that's my last number is 1. And 1. I land on 15. So now I know that 9 plus 5 plus 1 is 15. So now I want you guys to try number 10 and 11 completely on your own. So 10 is 6 plus 4 plus 4. 11 is 3 plus 3 plus 5. Go ahead, try both of those, and write down your answers. These I will not be giving you the answers to. Okay, guys, if you're not done 10 and 11, pause video, take your time as usual. But if you're done, keep this rolling for a second. Okay, so for friends in my classroom, I will not be doing set D. I'm not testing you guys on this. This is a bit much. It's a little over the top. I'm kind of disappointed that this isn't, a story problem with adding 3 numbers or something like that. So I will not be testing you guys on set D. If you're not in my classroom, check with your teacher and see if he or she is. But besides that, guys, that is the end of the video. I know, maybe it felt kind of short. It felt short to me. Hopefully that this helped kind of refresh your memories. I know it's been, well, if you're in my classroom, it's been quite a long week. But that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Or if you're not in my classroom, please let your teacher know that you have a question if you do. But have a great day, guys, and I will see you next time.